You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I'm back. Rodrance for Black and White Sports 2. Well, I had a Zach Wilson video coming anyway. It was on my board to do, and this ties in perfectly. As we know, the other day, the Jets lost to the Patriots. The Jets' offense was absolutely putrid. It was terrible. Patriots wasn't much better, but at least you could say Mac Jones was functional. I mean, I think he completed like 23 or 27 passes or something the other day for like 246 yards. Couldn't find the end zone, but at least did help move the ball. Took some bad sacks, but whereas you can at least say Mac Jones is a highly accurate quarterback, and at times has displayed some very good decision-making, although he's thrown some ill-timed picks this year. He's trying to learn a new offense. There's a guy out there that I think a lot of us feel like just can't play in the NFL, that is a bust. Now you're starting to see attitude problems like you saw the other day, Sunday, after that Patriots loss, and Robert Saleh realizes he runs the risk of losing his locker room, so he has benched Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson has been benched. The GOAT, the greatest of all time, Mike White, will start on Sunday. And you know what's funny about this? Now that Saleh has made this decision and Mike White's going to start, the Jets game turns out you've got to watch it. All of a sudden, the Jets just got wildly more interesting. That was an official tweet from Rappaport, but Zach Wilson has hit the skids. Damian Woody was on with Ryan Russillo. I was listening this morning, and they were talking about the comment where Zach Wilson came back and said, nah, I don't think I let the defense down. Really, you were putrid. I mean, you were horrible. It was one of the worst performances I've ever seen out of a quarterback ever. And you felt no responsibility for it. We know good quarterbacks. Look, a lot of quarterbacks out there, good quarterbacks, will have a great game, lose the game, and still take responsibility for the loss. You put it on the coach. You put it on the quarterback. That's part of your gig, Zach, and you're not realizing that. Woody said that he felt like Saleh would run the risk of losing the locker room if he did not bench Zach Wilson, and, well, you're seeing it. And so that leads us into the topic that I was actually going to do a video on, and that's the great Richard Sherman, who will probably be in the Hall of Fame one day, just coming right out and saying what I think a lot of us think at this point. Zach Wilson's not good enough for the NFL. He's not good enough to play in this league. He's very... Look, when you're talking about these young quarterbacks, you at least want to see flashes. Either play well or show flashes, right? And Zach Wilson has flashed a very, very few times. A very few times has he flashed. He got a lot of praise for that game against the Bills, and I thought he still didn't particularly look great, if you want to know the truth. Statistically, he looked good. But I have to question, when you start drafting these guys that are this size, I even think with Kyler Murray, I think the jury is still out. I truly do. Baker Mayfield now, he just got benched for Sam Darnold. Baker's a small guy. So, let's get to this. Zach Wilson has received harsh backlash over his apparent lack of accountability following the Jets' heartbreaking loss to the Patriots on Sunday. However, one NFL vet, Wilson's problems go beyond what was said in the press conference. Super Bowl champion cornerback Richard Sherman shared a video on social media of Wilson saying he did not believe he let the defense down, despite going 9 of 22 for 77 yards and no TDs. While the defense managed to limit the Patriots to just 3 points until the final 5 seconds of the game. Quote, wow. 9 completions the entire game and 10 punts. You have let the defense down. In their previous loss to the Patriots this season, Wilson went 20 for 41 for 355 and 2 touchdowns. See, the yards are great here. 2 TDs, great. But when I see 20 for 41, I kind of forget about the 355 and the 2 TDs. I truly do. In this league, I feel like you have to bare minimum have accuracy. You start with accuracy, and then you go from there as a quarterback. Some guys have it. Some guys never get it. Josh Allen has been the outlier out there. A guy with bad accuracy that has taught himself to get some good accuracy. But let's be real. That's sort of an outlier. We've almost never seen that happen. Most guys that come in the league inaccurate stay inaccurate and wash out. When asked about the difference in his performance, Wilson seemingly pointed to weather conditions at Foxborough, Massachusetts. Quote, I think you got to put into account it's windy as hell out there, guys. There's times where you can't just simply try to take these shots downfield. I mean, you can see how much it's moving out there. By the way, he threw a ball straight into Devin McCourty that should have been intercepted. Quote, we were trying to establish the run game. Same with what the Patriots were trying to do as well. He continued, they're not out there chucking it 30 or 40 yards down the field either. Quote, I understand finding positives, but this terrible play has been the case for weeks. This is what Sherman's saying. I understand finding positives. This is terrible play that has been the case for weeks. Mac Jones played under the same conditions. He went 23 for 27 for 246. He's not good enough for the NFL. And the sooner the Jets realize that, the better off the rest of the team will be. Wilson could stand to lose his job. We just found out he did because Saleh was non-committal. And this is what Saleh said. When you put up 100 yards of offense, I don't care how good New England is. They are good. It's unacceptable. That's not NFL football. So everything is being talked about. The quarterback is part of the pile of stuff that's being talked about, and it's something we will have to answer to, and we've got to do it by Wednesday. So we just found out he answered it with this benching. Now you're also seeing, this is NJ.com, NewJersey.com, and they're talking about now 2023 quarterback options for the Jets. And I wanted to do this because, well, they're talking about everybody involved, but there it is. This is the fit that makes a lot of sense. Jimmy Garoppolo. Adding the 49ers quarterback would make a lot of sense for the Jets because he has experience in a similar offense. Current Jets offensive coordinator Michael LaFleur worked with Garoppolo in San Francisco on Kyle Shanahan's staff. And, of course, Robert Saleh was there, too, as the defensive coordinator. There are concerns about his injury history, but he would probably be the best option for this team right now. The fact that he's a free agent next year makes him the most likely external candidate to end up as the Jets starting quarterback next year. And you guys know I'm a 49ers fan. I think Garoppolo, once he got past those first couple of games of this season, Garoppolo's been really good this year. And he was great the other night. One of the best games I've ever seen him play as a 49er. And let's be real. Think about how many teams would look good right now with Garoppolo. If you dropped Garoppolo on the Jets right now, how good would they be? Would they have what? At least one more win? At least one more win. Maybe two. How about the Steelers? Because they flirted with Garoppolo. And yeah, I like Kenny Pickett, I do. But let's say they pulled the trigger on Garoppolo. I think the Steelers are right in the hunt for the playoffs right now if they got Garoppolo. I truly do. I think they got 2 or 3 more wins right now. But they didn't go get him. They opted not to. They pulled back. And the Niners got lucky. At this point, I'm going to be real. I know it's saying that he's the best option for the Jets. Well, he probably will be. But I don't think there's any chance in hell the 49ers can let Jimmy Garoppolo go. I really don't. It is clear, and it has been clear from the moment he came in the back in after Trey Lance got hurt. These guys that he plays with, they love Jimmy G. Okay? So for all the comparisons about Kirk Cousins, and I know Kirk Cousins has finally got a good win-loss record this year, and Derek Carr, you go back and look at their career wins and losses, and Jimmy Garoppolo's win percentage is much higher than either one of those other two guys. And now Jimmy's 15 TDs and 4 picks. We're almost at 4-1 now. And let's be honest, the 49ers look like a team that at bare minimum is probably going to make the NFC Championship game. If they make the NFC Championship game, not even win it and go to the Super Bowl, if they make it, I don't think you can let Jimmy G walk out the door not knowing what Trey Lance is. Because let's be real, if Trey Lance would have started this season would have been a wash. And that's exactly where it was headed. Zach Wilson, benched. Richard Sherman says Zach Wilson can't even play in the NFL. I don't think he's wrong. I think he's already a bust. And I think the Jets need to come to terms with that. I do. You got local Jets media now talking out loud about other QB options, including Jimmy Garoppolo. This Jets team is good everywhere except Zach Wilson. And the Jets have done really well with drafting, but it doesn't matter if you hit on 9 out of 12 picks, which is great. But let's say you get a productive starter, 9 out of 12 picks. Maybe that's the last couple of drafts or something. But if one of those 3 you missed on was the quarterback, you're still kind of screwed, aren't you? So you have to start looking at other areas. And that's why you're hearing... They brought up Tom Brady, too, here, by the way. And Derek Carr. I don't see Tom Brady ever going to the New York Jets. Derek Carr, maybe. But if you had your choice between Carr and Garoppolo, are you choosing Carr? I'm not. Because there's something about Jimmy, his teammates love him, and they play hard for him. And I think that's part of being a good quarterback. And I think it's something we don't take into account. Zach Wilson? No, I think it's a wrap. I truly do. I don't think he's got the right attitude to be an NFL quarterback. Man, if I'm a Jets fan, after the way he answered that question the other day, I'm sort of throwing my hands up. By the way, I kind of like Mike White. I do. Peace. I'm out. Till next time. Black and White Network supporters, make sure you go over and check out the Black and White Network merchandise store. 25% off USA First. 25% off USA First. Go now.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.